In order for you to truly change, you have to accumulate the knowledge to realize that what you currently have is not enough. Good morning, queens. I am Shamir Nicole, and you are watching Girl Yes, the channel where we are learning to be bold, ambitious, and beautiful together. So in my previous video, I have talked to you guys about making this year your year, how you can really change your life in a really short period of time. And I've shared with you how I've done that. In order for you to really make some changes in your life, you really have to change your mindset. It's not going to be enough for us to just change our environment in order for us to change our habits on the daily. In order for these changes to be changes that are going to be impactful and they're going to be long lasting, you have to change your mindset. You have to not only think about the things that you are doing and incorporating during your journey, but also how they relate to other aspects of your life, how they will impact other people, and how ultimately it's going to change you. And if you're okay with these changes, a lot of times we're going through our transformations, and of course we have a goal of what we want our outcome to be, but we don't always take into consideration the impact of these changes on ourselves, especially when we have been coming from like a negative thinking for so long and not really seeing any positive in the things that we have been doing, and just really a lot of self-doubt. When you kind of overcome that, you get to this weird space. And this space is just like, I guess the best word for me to use would be imposter syndrome. A lot of times we don't feel that we are worthy of all of the good things that come to us because we have been conditioned either through our friends, our environment, or even ourselves, as I said earlier, from our negative speech and our negative thinking, that we don't deserve all of the good things that we are working towards. And so imposter syndrome is a real thing on any phase of your transformation journey. You're going to encounter that. I can speak again from personal experience. That is something that I encountered, especially when things started to really happen at a fast pace. I was like, wow, I remember being in a different situation less than 2 months ago, and all of these wonderful things are happening. Why me? You know, am I equipped to handle this? Why did God choose me to walk this path? Why am I being acknowledged for X, Y, and Z? And so I really want to talk about mindset today because, as I said, we want to avoid some of those pitfalls that we are going to face on our transformational journeys, on our level up journeys, on our glow up journeys. However you want to phase it, these are things that we're going to encounter. So I really want to make sure that as we start this journey, that our mindset is in place so that we can combat these negative feelings and emotions, as well as thoughts that can be intrusive a lot of times and can be detrimental on our journeys if we don't address it earlier on. I know you've heard the phrase, you are what you eat, right? The same thing applies to our mindsets. We are what we think. We become what we speak. So the more you speak positivity, the more you are going to believe the positivity that you're speaking. Same thing applies with negativity. The more you say something is bad, you're going to view it as bad. You're going to view it as negative. And so one of the things that I really want us to focus on our journeys is making sure that we are not speaking negativity. We are not thinking negativity. Now, I know thinking certain things and not saying it is something that we all do. Like, we might see something, we're like, ugh, I don't really care for that too much. And we may not say it, but I really want us to learn to condition our thoughts and train our minds to not think of negativity. Now, it's almost impossible, but when I say to train our minds to not think it, I think it's really to dwell on it. Like, you may see something, it may impact you in a negative way, but I've learned to train my mind not to dwell on the negative and to always try to find the positive in a negative situation. I would definitely say this is something that for me is fairly new, but I do see the impact it has had on my mood. I'm going to give you an example. I am a pageant queen. As we speak, I currently have the title of International Mrs. USA, and it's pageant season for us. So basically what that means is a lot of the pageants that you will see online are going to be hosting their national pageants. They're going to be girls all over social media preparing to go and compete. And a lot of times when that happens, a lot of negative emotions start to arise with the competitors. People may post things that we may not agree with. People may say things that we may not agree with, we may not like too much. And so this has been happening personally for me for like the last week and a half. Like, people have been posting things and I'm just like, why in the world did you post that? Why in the world did you say that? Why did you do that? And I'm like, I had to check myself a little bit. And I checked myself for a few reasons. One, because that's none of my business. That's first off. But secondly, I was having a negative reaction, not only to something that wasn't my business, but something that I should have been looking for the positive. When I say I'm trying to train my mind, I'm trying to train my mind to see something, and my natural reaction is to find the positive first. And again, it is not something that, for me at least, is not going to be something that's going to happen overnight, because of course, like most of us, we have emotions, and sometimes we're going to see things that we are not going to like, and they're going to impact us in a way that we may not even be prepared for. And when we are not prepared, and when we are not training our minds to encounter these emotions, the first thing that's going to happen is that negative Nancy that resides in all of us is going to uproot herself, and she's going to say, oh, you know, that's the first thing. And so I really want to try to decrease some of that negative energy and increase the positive. The positive was that young lady took a chance on herself to go to a national pageant and to represent herself at the best of her ability. That is something that most of the population is not equipped to do and will not even be willing to do. So the positive is that she has stepped out on faith and decided to do something that was right for her. I had to find the positive in that situation, even though I didn't agree, even though it's not something that I would have chosen to do. Me finding the positive allowed me to view that situation a lot differently than I did when I previously thought about it. And so that's what I mean by training your mind. Train your mind to see the positive versus the negative, and then your whole outlook on that situation can change. So because your mindset is one of the things that is going to need a complete overhaul, I really want to focus on the 3 things that I personally utilize and that I know to be true that are going to help you to transform your mindset. Number 1 is I really want us to take a break from social media. Now, clearly, YouTube is a social media platform, but what I mean by that is I'm really talking about the social media platforms that are kind of like mindless scrolling. And the reason I want you to do this is because I am of the belief that your eyes are going to be attracted to the things that really stir up your spirit. Now, because we just talked about mindset and how our mindset affects our emotions and our thoughts, your eyes are also a gateway to your mindset. And so if you are viewing things that are going to stir your spirit in a negative way, i.e. watching something that's going to make you say something negative, watching something that has a negative reaction on you, that can even be a movie where you're watching something that causes you to get stressed out or get anxiety or to cry or to become overly emotional. That is something that your eyes have caused to stir your spirit. And so I really want us to kind of limit the things that we are seeing that stir our emotions and our spirit in a negative way. And so for me at the time, it was social media. So I really just took a break from social media, and I really focused on being selfish, because I knew that changing my emotional intelligence was going to shift my mindset. Now, if you're like me and you are working on social media, I know a lot of people are content creators and are aspiring to be content creators in some capacity. I know that removing social media completely may not always be feasible, especially even if you have a business and you're operating on social media. So if you're not able to completely remove yourself from social media, I would definitely say to give yourself some time to really go through your social media feeds and remove a lot of the negativity. And this is going to be hard because a lot of the things that we are currently viewing, we don't see as negative, because I mean, who's really going on social media like, let me find something negative to watch today? Like, nobody's really doing that. But as I said earlier, really think about the things that you are viewing that change your spirit, that make you feel a certain way, that make you feel negative. Matter of fact, let's reverse that. I would say let's go onto social media and try to remove the things that don't impact you positively. Anything that does not impact you positively should be removed, even if it makes you feel neutral. If it's not positive, it needs to be removed, especially at this earlier stage of your journey. So just remove social media if you can. If you can't, limit the amount of social media that you ingest. And if you can't do that, make sure that what you are ingesting is positive. My number 2 tip is to definitely be intentional about the things that you watch and you read. I just said social media, but I am also meaning intentional about your television time, intentional about the things that you are reading, especially the things that you're reading. First of all, if you are really trying to change, the only way that you can really change is by accumulation of knowledge. If you think about the word change as a whole, changing means to remove something and to replace it with something, right? Think about clothes. When you change your clothes, you already have something on. You don't want to wear that item, so you're going to find another item that you deem suitable for the affair. When you think about change, you're not going to change yourself into something that you already are. You're not going to remove something and replace it with something that's already similar to what you already have. In order for you to truly change, you have to accumulate the knowledge to realize that what you currently have is not enough and you need to increase it. You increase your knowledge by being intentional with the things that you read, the things that you see, the things that you ingest, the things that you allow into your space, into your eyes, into your body, into your spirit, right? So being intentional about the things that you read and the things that you see is going to help you on your transformational journey as well. And lastly, I want you to converse wisely. As I said in one of my previous videos, when you are on a transformational journey, that is your time to truly be selfish. And what I mean by that is you have to start saying no to people, places, and things. And a good way of doing that is to be very intentional about who you converse with, the people that you are talking to, and the things that they are saying when you are conversing back and forth. Because again, when you are on the process of changing, those same conversations that you were having previously, if they are not going to be impactful to your journey, you have to remove that. If you're not going to be speaking to people who are going to be speaking life into you and speaking positivity into you, or people who are encouraging you on this journey, you have to be mindful of all of this, because what you say can impact you, but also what people say to you can impact you. So if people are constantly saying to you, oh, I don't think that's going to work, oh, I don't think that's going to work, your mind is going to think, oh, well, maybe that's not going to work. And it can be something really small, like a blue gown versus a purple gown. It can be something so trivial, right? It could be like, I don't think that dress is going to work for that dance we're going to. But you think it's going to work because you've already had it in your mind. It looks good on your body. It makes you feel confident when you wear it. And you already know that this is going to work. But you start to converse with somebody and they put their own negative opinions and their own negative thought processes into something that you already know is good for you. And then you're going to say, well, maybe they're right. You start to second guess yourself. You start to second guess your journey. You start to second guess the decisions that you are making for yourself, even though you know that these decisions are what is best for you. You have to be mindful of the people that you allow in your space when you are taking a transformational journey, because those conversations are going to impact you more than you think. Like most things, mindset is not something that is going to happen overnight. And although I am a really big advocate of 30-day challenges and 30-day goal setting, I don't want you to think of changing your mindset as something that is going to be linear. It's not going to happen only one way. It's going to take time. It's going to take practice. And when I say practice, I mean you're going to have to place yourself in situations that are going to challenge you. Mindset matters, and all of the 3 things that I just covered in today's video are going to be ways that you can learn to practice a positive mindset and shifting of your mindset. If you need a little bit of help, I do have some resources available in the video description that are going to help you on your journey. It's going to help you with your mindset. It's going to help you with learning to be confident, as well as our 3 pillars, which are to be bold, ambitious, and beautiful. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you were able to take something away from this video that are going to help you on your transformational challenge and becoming the best you this year, right now. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys in the next video.